996 The Howl for the uninitiated. This is an unedited YouTube vlog discussing everything Arizona Coyotes since the trade deadline, since Bill Armstrong said those famous words of "they earned my respect and they deserve to be put together and stay together as a team." The Coyotes have lost 9 out of 11 games since the trade deadline. They've only won 2 out of 8 games. It's a disheartening time for the team. Very uncharacteristic across the board, especially in terms of their defense and goalies as well. A couple really bad games against the San Jose Sharks where it was kind of deja vu, just like, maybe a couple months ago, that road trip in Anaheim, where both games seemed to go the same way, down 3-0, and then the Coyotes would claw back. But the difference between those series was they actually won both of those Anaheim games, and in San Jose on Monday they fall 4-0 and lose 6-4, and Wednesday they fall 3-0 and lose 4-2 with an empty netter. So one of the worst teams in the league in terms of first periods. That stat was brought up yesterday on the broadcast. The worst goal differential in the league in the first period. The Coyotes are. They just are not motivated to start games. They kind of only get their engine going once they score a goal and get that confidence that, we could actually score goals. Let's do more of that. It takes them a while to get going. I'm not sure what it is, if it's like coach motivation or player motivation. You see other teams across the league down in the tunnels right before game time. They have their rituals. We never really see a Coyotes ritual in the tunnel. They just walk, usually in a normal season, they'll walk down the tunnel through these wood panel doors and the fans are there to cheer them on. But obviously in this season there's no fans to cheer them on in the tunnel. So we're kind of in the dark in what player leadership rituals there are prior to the game. But you know what? There's a like 6 to 8 games left until the playoffs. You were at 1 point up in the playoff picture, 1 point back in the playoff spot. That should be enough motivation as an NHL player to go out there and compete and play an amazing game and show the coaching staff, show the fans, and just show respect for donning the jersey, that you're going to fight for that playoff chance and you're not going to go down without a fight, especially. But we did not see that at all Monday or Wednesday night. They were flat, just came out flat, could not get anything going until they were down in such a deep hole where it was almost impossible to get out of. They were facing a rookie goaltender in both games where they didn't really test him early. They found themselves in deep trouble early, and once they found out, what if we just take shots on this rookie goaltender and goals are going in, it was too little too late. Wednesday night, they were down 3-2 going into the third period. You're 3 points back of a playoff spot. This is a must-win game. You're facing a rookie goaltender. They don't get a shot for the first 12 minutes of the third period and only muster 3 shots in total in that third period, which is unacceptable and just inexcusable. Just the players looked so defeated. OEL in the post-game comment said, "I don't even know what I'm really doing out there." So I don't know if that's a personal thing for him, whether he's not mentally ready or not mentally there, not mentally prepared. Maybe his personal life, there's some shakiness there, or if it's a coaching problem and he doesn't know what to do. There's no direction given to him from Rick Tocchet. Obviously, that's all assumptions being made. But for a player to say that with 6 games left until the end of the season, that you don't know what you're doing on the ice, it's a bit concerning, especially that it's your captain saying that, and someone who lost the game single-handedly for them, taking 2 atrocious penalties in the third period. He's just looked really out of place in a lot of games this season. He's had only very few good OEL games that I've seen in this season. A lot of off-season questions will need to be asked. Does he get traded? There were rumblings last offseason that he was going to get traded to Boston or Vancouver. Does he give up the captaincy to someone else, like someone as deserved as Chikrin? Or does the management decide to strip him of the captaincy? That would be one of the worst case scenarios, I would think, because he's been through a lot. He's been with the team for so long that, stripping him of the C, that rarely happens. The only other time I've seen it happen was San Jose did it with, I believe, Joe Thornton. Was he the captain? When they lost against LA, when they had a 3-0 series lead against LA, and then LA came back and won that series. In the offseason, they stripped the captaincy. I believe it was Thornton. It was either Thornton or Marlowe. I can't really remember who was the captain that time, about 6 or 7 years ago. But, they changed captaincy. I think they gave it to Couture, and they just needed a shakeup in leadership. So maybe we see that happen. There's only 6 games left of Rick talking hockey, which we all hope, he doesn't get extended. We just need an offensively motivated coach who could speak to these players and let these players just play a skilled game and not scare them and drive fear into them that if they don't play a great defensive game, they're going to get either benched or demoted to the fourth line. We just need a change of culture in that sense. I don't even know what pauses Rick Tocchet has anymore. The defensive game of the Coyotes has been brutal. Their goals against is over 3 per game. Their goaltending is really pedestrian as of late. Kemper had a stellar game against LA, and the whole team really had a perfect, stellar, greatly executed game against the Kings on Saturday, and then they just forgot how to play hockey Monday and Wednesday. It seems strange and weird. My gut thinks is that the St. Louis games both finished before the Coyotes games, both Monday and Wednesday, and St. Louis won both of those games. So I think that kind of crept into their mentality and their just the mental space, and they just were shell-shocked in the first period and didn't realize they had to play really good hockey until it was too late and dug themselves such a deep hole. It's just, terrible starts that's been consistent throughout this whole season. I mentioned those Anaheim games a couple months ago, but even against Minnesota and Vegas a couple times, just they get down way too early and too many goals against way too quickly to even have a chance to crawl and scratch back into the game. So, no positives out of these 2 games. You got Vegas back-to-back Friday and Saturday. We all know what happened last time they faced Vegas back-to-back on a Friday and Saturday. What was that, 2 or 3 weeks ago? So it's going to be a rough couple of games. The Vegas Golden Knights are on a 10-game winning streak, so maybe it's time up for them to start losing some games. Maybe someone in the dressing room for the Coyotes is laying into the players and just giving it to whoever needs to hear it. Also, some lineup. I don't know why Jordan Oesterle still is scratched continuously. John Hayden was in the lineup, who basically only played in the first period. After the first period, I didn't see John Hayden at all, especially not in the third period. So, Rick Tocchet's wasting a roster spot with not playing John Hayden and having to double shift a winger. Most of the time, it was Phil Kessel playing with Peterson and Brassard. But, you gotta get someone else in that spot, whether it's Chaput, whether you recall Barrett Hayden, who has been stuck in Tucson for about 40 games now that the guys have played without Barrett Hayden. Just you got to try something. Maybe Tyler Steenbergen out of Tucson. It worked with Bunting and Peterson. Why not try someone else from Tucson if your taxi squad guys like Chaput, Gauthier, and Fasching aren't working for you? Maybe you dig a bit deeper into that Tucson roster and find another diamond in the rough, or find someone who's excited to join the Coyotes and play for the Coyotes to inject some life and to inject some mojo and some juice into this team, because it's just been flat and such a deflation the past 11 games. Losing 9 regulation games in their past 11 games, it's just absurd and just a bottomless pit of despair. So that's it. That's it for me. Just a couple more games, maybe I think 2 more weeks. And then we can start getting that off-season hype and hope back into our systems. Hopefully a new coach. There's so much cap space that the Coyotes have this off-season to make some fundamental changes to the roster. So we'll see what happens. So that's it for me. Thank you for sticking with me. I know a lot of you probably have stopped watching videos, just are fed up with the Coyotes. They want nothing to do with it. Just, wake me up when it's October and it's a new coach and it's a new roster. I feel that too. It's hard to watch these games, but thank you for sticking around. Thank you for your support. And if you like what you see, spread the word. So thank you.